Good morning, Raptor Freak Alexiot's here on a Thursday morning after we beat Indiana Pacers last night to get our first home victory for the season at Scotiabank Arena. It really was a long time coming. They were the last team beat in our own arena over 600 days ago in like 2020 of February. And yeah, it just felt really good. And it was really cool to see the team execute a lot of the stuff that I thought helped them win last night, and they did it. And Nick Nurse didn't play Goran Dragic. That's a huge victory in some ways. Meanwhile, we had a history moment last night where the Pacers had two Canadians on the floor, and we put out our 3B Canadian contingency, Birch, Banton, and Boucher. And there were 5 Canadian players on an NBA court, I think for the first time in history in the NBA last night. And that's cool. We're getting all this cool new history with Canadian stuff. Because on the download, guys, if you think about it, in the Washington game, that was the first time we debuted positionless basketball. And the debut of positionless basketball came with us debuting the 3 Canadian Raptor lineup of Banton, Birch, and Boucher. And it was seriously the first time we ever went positionless was against Washington, and Banton was a part of that. So yeah, Canada, gee, good morning. So happy this morning. What a great morning to be a Raptor fan and to feel excited about the prospect of what's coming for us. Like that game, we had pretty much an all-star MVP for each of the quarters last night. It was like OG in the first quarter, then it was Scotty in the second, and then it was kind of like a Delano kind of show in the third, and then Fred VV to finish it up. Like we had some really good performances, balanced performances from our team. They were saying they had a hard time picking the player of the game last night because there were so many good choices last night. MK47, good morning. Who are the 2 Canadians on the Pacers? Oh, Duarte is the other Canadian, though. The guy with I don't know. It looked like he was wearing a headband, but it's just his hairstyle. He had that blonde top with the hairband, and he was hitting some threes, some open shots. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't know that either until they said, I was like, well, this could be history. 4 Canadians are out there. And then they're like, there's 5 Canadians out there. I'm like, who's secretly Canadian? Who's secretly Canadian? It's like because there's always people out there that are secretly Canadian that we don't know are actually really Canadian, like Alan Thicke. But anyway, yeah, Duarte, he was the 5th Canadian last night. And it's really cool to see O'Shea Brissett contributing and being a good rotational player for the Indiana Pacers right now, because he was somebody that was good for us when he was here on the team, but he wasn't good enough to be on our team. But now he's gone there and he's found success. And just a little house cleaning, because I haven't really talked about this, but you know that our guys Gillespie and Wainwright have both gotten on other teams since they've left us. Gillespie is playing for the Memphis 905 team, their developmental team, and Wainwright is a two-way player for the Phoenix Suns now, guys. So yeah, okay, yeah, he had a tough game trying to guard OG. The secret's out on OG. You know, much like we've been saying, Scotty could just take over the game anytime he wants. I think OG can take over the game whenever he wants. And think about this, guys, how multi-dimensional our attack is going to be with these players, with Siakam, Anunoby, and Barnes out there, all 3 together, because these guys can score all kinds of different ways, and they all kind of require a double team. So we can do the math here. They're not going to have 6 guys on the court to double team all 3 of these guys. This is going to be really nasty. Like this, and this is the thing. If they can share it and go in the flow and understand who should be taking it when and all that kind of stuff without any kind of like mishaps, we could be a very efficient scoring offensive team very quickly because of this. Like I haven't seen OG take over a game like he did in the first quarter in the last 2 games, really. Ever. Like he really took the task of establishing our offense and getting us into a rhythm to start the game scoring wise. He did that on his shoulders last night. And man, I love this new OG. He's scary. I mean, Rick Carlisle had to call an early timeout just to say, y'all can't do anything about him right now. We need to figure out how to stop him. Because, yeah, OG, ooh, Kenny, good morning, man. Now they should all show up for Canada basketball team. I hope so. And wasn't it hilarious how when Brissett went down, Nick Nurse was out there checking on him on the court? It's like, how often do you see the opposing coach going out there and really checking on a player from the other team? Paul B, this game was a defensive masterpiece. I like that. Those two words together, defensive masterpiece. Yes. And this is the thing. Like, it's weird. I think that they're obviously putting a lot of effort and putting into it, but this is the thing. They could be even more intense, I think, with their defense. Like, we're seeing it in general in the NBA, a more playoff style intensity because the referees aren't calling fouls and guys are hitting the court more to scramble for balls, and there's a lot more physicality. But this is the thing. If it's like this during the regular season, there's going to be a whole other level once the playoffs start. Like, this isn't going to get like easier. That's the thing. We could tighten up even better. Like, we played really good defense, but I have a feeling we have a whole other level of like, no, nothing. So yeah, it's fun. It's fun. And they did play really well. I mean, look at Sabonis. Look at Miles Turner. Miles Turner had a 40-point game already this year, and he was really shut down. We shut down both of them. And Brogdon was a problem in the first half, but then he got hurt and he was gone. But yeah, Indiana's got a bunch of Raptor killers, as I put it. Former Raptor killers. Guys like Lamb, who hit that half-court shot to beat us when he was on Charlotte. Wanamaker, who used to kill us when he was on Boston. And Brogdon was a Raptor killer for the Bucks too. So that's a team of Raptor killers over there, but we didn't let them kill us at all. Boucher played better on this game. Yeah, Boucher, man, like I said this weekend, he really didn't deserve getting called out. And I love that Nick Nurse in the last couple of days has made an effort to show that he is concerned and wants to help Chris, because that's a big thing to get him back and engaged and not feel like he's in the doghouse. Like, I think that he said it specifically last night that he brought Delano in early to help Chris with his game, like early on. And honestly, guys, Nick Nurse's rotations last night were masterful. Were perfect. He did stuff that I've been screaming for in the last week. He brought Delano in when the first offensive lull started happening, and there was huge success from that. And he just made Birch and Boucher more of a part of the rotation with his premium starters now. Like, these guys, Precious, Scotty, OG, Fred, they're doing it. Gary Trent, too. I mean, 5 steals, Gary Trent, amazing defense by him. Those guys have been logging lots of minutes in the games so far, but last night it got balanced a bit more. We saw Boucher and Birch get like 20 minutes each, and Delano got a good chunk in there for the game too, which was really good. And he was a huge success, huge upgrade over Dragic. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Pacers announcer was trembling talking about our team. Oh my gosh, I love that, Paul. I love that. He was trembling. Oh my gosh, he saw that what was happening. It's refreshing to hear. Yeah, I mean, they're going to discover more and more. Like, I know, I was saying yesterday, I want to know that Sabonis was cussing in Lithuanian under his breath. And I felt so good in the second half when Jack just announced, he's like, Sabonis is so frustrated. I was like, yes, Sabonis is frustrated. It's like my personal call. It's like, frustrate Sabonis. Okay, but yeah, that's awesome to hear. I actually was listening to our guys last night, but I do love listening to the other team's announcers sometimes, just to hear. Oh, I love to hear the fear in their voice sometimes. Oh, that's awesome. OG, Scotty, and Pascal are mismatch machines. Yes, and this is the thing. We're gonna figure out who's good for when and where and what spot and all this kind of stuff. And you know what we saw last night that was beautiful? Bellissimo. It was these rhythm passes that the guys were getting to set up the shots. You saw what I was talking about. Fred hit these passes to guys where they catch the ball and they're in rhythm and they're able to hit the shot. Like, Svi had a 3 that he caught in rhythm that was a lot nicer and looked good. There were guys just hitting shots off of rhythm, off getting the pass clean. And I love that. That's beautiful basketball. When you see a beautiful assist and the guy just catches it easy and makes the play. There was way more execution last night, way more synergy, and just not like these ugly little things between guys like we had been seeing in games before this. So it's really, and look, it's not going to get easier for any other team once Pascal gets back. It really isn't. And I love, this is the thing, Scotty is not demanding of anything. Scotty finds his game in the cracks of the game, and he does things to what we need in the moment. And once again, he showed like even more veteran kind of things that a rookie should not be doing. A rookie should not be doing some of this stuff he's doing. It's just too vet and it's too inherent. I really, really blame him watching Magic Johnson for hours and hours as a kid, because you can see the influence of unselfishness and just court vision and just like doing whatever it takes for the team in that moment kind of stuff. And that's what I'm saying. Like, he has a little bit of Kawhi, he has a little bit of Magic in him, and a little bit of OG, but he's also got a little bit of Duncan, because his team defense around the basket near the rim and his defensive rebounding is looking a lot like Duncan at times right now. And I know that's high praise, but this is what I'm saying. This guy's like a hybrid superstar. He's not just like a type of superstar that is like LeBron or whatever. It's like he's doing a lot of mimicking of other guys in different areas, whether it's Johnson, Leonard, or Duncan. Those are the three names that he reminds me the most of, Scotty. And it's just going to get nastier, because as his game grows, his body may grow and his instincts will grow. And he's just going to, I mean, he's already this good, guys. What is going to happen? He's just going to get better and better. Like, he's honestly going to be able to win games single-handedly at some point. Like, we're going to see this where he's going to have a 10-minute period in a game where he just does incredible things on defense, and he's scoring like nobody can stop him. Like, this is going to happen. I've seen the future, and it's so nasty for other people. And we need to make sure he's staying in Toronto, because he's a franchise player for long term. Let's see. Gary had 5 steals. 18 steals altogether for a team. Yeah, we were so scrappy. Gary Trent Jr. is making a really hard case to be taken out of the starting lineup when Pascal comes back, because I don't know what to do, guys. All 5 of our starters deserve to start right now, because they're all playing super, super good. This isn't a thing where like we had Dragic out there playing with them, and we're like, Dragic, you need to get out of the starting lineup. We need to start somebody else. Because all 5 of them are playing premium, really good basketball in a lot of ways. And I don't see it. I don't see who we can take out at this point for Pascal, but it's probably going to be Gary, just because his game can translate to the bench pretty good too. And we're going to have a lot of offensive scoring in that starting lineup, apparently, with the 3 amigos we're talking about here, OG, Scotty, and Pascal. These guys are going to be the 3 amigos of offense for us this year. It's going to be nasty. All right, let's see. Paul B. Sabonis taking 4 shots in 34 minutes is incredible. Yeah, that's just a testament to us crowding him. To him, like, he's a bull kind of player. Like, he loves to hit and make room for himself. Like, he's like put my ass around and stuff like that. But it didn't matter. It didn't matter, because even if he hit one of our guys off, there was another one right on the other side. And we were bothering his shot, and he was getting frustrated. I think they were all getting pretty frustrated. And especially Rick Carlisle. Like, Rick Carlisle looked like he aged a bit last night by the end of the game. Like, he looked very tired and weak. Like, I felt bad for the guy. I hope he's okay. I like Rick Carlisle. He's a great coach. Let's see. Here we go. Boucher looked the best so far last night. Much needed. Yeah, not just for him, but for coach to be confident in playing him. And, you know, I love Chris Boucher. His game is just so nasty. And his mantle of blocking these 3-point shots. We saw OG got one of those last night. That's what I'm saying. Because this team is so long now, and when we close out, there's going to be like 3 or 4 guys doing the Chris Boucher 3-point blocks now, whether it's Banton, Barnes, OG, Pascal. You know, they can all run out and do it. And if our defense is collapsing so tight on everybody, we're going to get those different guys all over the place. And OG got the one last night on Duarte. That was really good. Let's see. Dragic needs not to play. Yeah, and we got that. We got that last night. We got what we wanted. I don't know if he's listening to us. Maybe it's just all of Raptor Nation is just saying the same thing. So they're like, you know what? We need to listen to them maybe. And it worked. It worked, because he didn't, as his root name says, he didn't drag us down when he came in. And Banton really was the dynamite we've been talking about. He came in there, the crowd got into it, and he did as advertised. You know, he didn't push it all the time, but he picked his spots to push it at the right time. And that's really good, because he could have been just like full tilt the whole time, and it might have messed him up. but there were a lot of times where he held back and he let the offense develop in the half court without pushing it. But then he did go to pushing it at times also. So that's really good. And it's amazing to me. I knew ahead of time that Scotty Barnes was going to be a player that's going to be really good and show some amazing things right off the bat. But I had no idea that Banton was going to come like this and be like this. And like Jack said last night, we look like we have 2 lottery picks right now. This is the thing. When I was saying at the beginning of the season we could win a championship, it was dependent on these guys becoming really good role players and being able to contribute to us. Well, I'm already seeing the amount and level of contribution that these guys would have to give us to maybe get to a championship. And the thing is that Scotty is just going to hone and get better and understand. He's not making much mistakes. He's helping us all over the place. And it's just nasty. Like his offensive game right now is so varied. And the way he's making shots and the fact that he's blowing by guys and dunking it on people. This is the stuff I'm talking about. This is a superstar that's going to get more and more people into this team just because of the nasty shit he does on the court. And man, like I love these little turnaround, blow down the lane, dunk it on them all of a sudden. It's just really cool to see. Let's see. Yeah, thanks, Andrew. Let's go, Andrew. Let's go. Yeah, baby. Yeah, that was a good pep yesterday, and we did get there. And boy, did they! Oh man, it was such a beautiful game to watch last night. We just needed that in our home court. We needed that for all kinds of reasons. And now, do you feel good about maybe we're going? Okay, we better smack Orlando around, and then when we go see Indiana on Saturday in their home court. This then we'll be 4-3, hopefully, because that's what we need. We need a winning record. We need to be on the winning side of things because then people will recognize and understand and respect, whether it's our own fans or the press or anybody else, because that's what gets respect is winning, and that's what we got to do. All right, let's see. Fred had a great game. He watched hours of film to improve his flaws. Yeah, apparently Fred is doubling down on practicing, watching tape. He's doing more than ever this year, and he should. And his game was really good last night. We saw the regular Freddie with his shooting. And I love that. This is the thing. Like I've been saying, in the first couple of games, he'd been forcing his game. But last night, he really let the game come to him, and it was in a flow, and he got these really nice rhythm threes. Like whether it was him coming up the court and spotting up with them laying back on him or just getting the ball caught and the offense coming around, he was open and shooting it. I love to see that from Fred because that's the steadiness we need from Fred. Now, a little aside about Fred right now, I want to talk about there's been some press this week. Some people on Raptor groups and Facebook and different people that are pushing this narrative about Fred VanVleet and his character because of a game at the 905 where he was in attendance as a spectator to watch the game, and a high school coach, brought his team over to get pictures with him, and he refused to take pictures with him. The first thing I want to say to everybody right now, and they need to understand this, y'all need to stop acting like some privileged assholes. Just because a player plays in the NBA or somebody's a celebrity or somebody does something that is known in this world doesn't mean they owe you their time or their energy in that moment. They have a private life and they're allowed to do things that they want to do without you having to force your will of what you want on them. And the story this week is really sad and stupid because a lot of people are going to listen to you and they're going to think something about Fred VanVleet's character that just isn't true. And the reason why I know it isn't true is because I've met Fred VanVleet personally. I met Fred VanVleet in August of 2018. I lived in Kensington Market at the corner of Kensington and Dundas across from the tequila bar at the end of the street. And I sat sitting out in the patio. It was just before midnight on a Sunday night, and it was off season. Fred was filming a commercial across the street at the barber shop, and he just happened to be standing on the corner next to the fire hydrant. And I was sitting there having a cigarette, and I saw him standing over there. Nobody else saw him. He looked like a normal person because his height, and it was dark. And he wasn't getting mobbed or anything, but I recognized him right away. And I walked right over to him. No problem at all, directly. And there was no problem with him being an asshole or him being dismissive or telling me to fuck off or anything like that. He's like, talk to me. And I talked to him. And I asked him, have you met Kawhi yet? Because this was like just after Kawhi got traded to us for DeMar. And he's like, no, I haven't met Kawhi. I said, Fred, I'm so glad you got a new contract this summer because we had just re-signed him again. I said, and he had been in a cold streak at the end of the year. I said, Fred, just keep shooting because your shooters got to shoot. And we believe in you. The city of Toronto is behind you. And he gave me a big, huge hug. And he told me that I was a real one. And then he wanted his handler to get a good picture of us together. And I have that picture up in different places to show y'all. But Fred VanVleet is not a dismissive asshole towards fans. And whoever's trying to push that narrative this week, you need to go fuck off, because everybody has different things on different days and they can't be perfect all the time. And anybody who thinks that these people, just because they're in the spotlight and they're on TV and stuff like that, you deserve their time at any moment, at any time. Like, you're probably the fucking asshole who goes up to somebody in a bathroom and asks for an autograph. Listen, just because Fred didn't sign that or take a picture with you at that moment doesn't mean that he's an asshole. It's just in that moment he couldn't, or maybe he didn't want to. And he has that right. So, and you know, that coach, he should maybe just check himself with pushing that story, because you're putting out a bad example for your kids as a whiner and somebody who's like, you should have just been like, well, maybe he's busy right now, but you're pushing a narrative of a victim. So I think you're a bad high school coach just for that. You know, because you may get another opportunity with your team to see Fred VanVleet and get those pictures and autographs that you wanted. But maybe he needed to be there to watch the 905 play because he's scouting and developing them to help the team. And you were getting in the middle of his work. So that story pissed me off when I saw it yesterday. And I stopped following somebody that I really, really respected and liked that wrote about the Raptors because of it. So anything about this kind of stuff, this tabloid shit. And then on top of that, they were trying to start talking about how Freddie and Scottie have a feud on the down low. And that's bullshit also. Because listen, Scottie is a great talent and he's doing leadership stuff and he's important. And sure, most people may be intimidated by him, but Fred knows what's going on. So don't get it twisted. There's no problem between Fred and Scottie, and the synergy and chemistry is there. You can see it. All right, let's go. Sorry, I just wanted to say that. That's a burning desire of mine after yesterday, after looking at that stupid shit that certain person, I'm not even going to say their name because I don't want y'all to go look at their stuff because it's just garbage that he's writing. All right, let's see. Kenne, wait till Delano gets a steady call up as second point guard. It will be over then. Yeah, I think we might have that already, Kenne. I mean, the proof is in the pudding and the results. And, you know, we've been having trouble at a certain point in the game, whether it's starting the game with Goran starting or when we were not starting Goran, he was coming in with the second unit. There was always that drop off, and it was evident each time. Let's see. So I think it's here. We'll see next game if it's the same kind of rotation where he brings in the three Canadians first off the bench. That's cool. Like he brings in all three Canadians at once, and they're like our six man, three-headed Canadian monster. I love it. Paul B. I think Scottie is a superstar. He's special. Yeah, I really do. Like I think he's a generational talent. Like this guy could be the new LeBron, guys. Like the best player in the league in some ways. But the thing is, I don't want him to ever have that headspace like LeBron. I don't ever want him to get to that like strata of like, I'm better than the whole team. Stick with them like Kyle and DeMar. Be like Kyle and DeMar as a leader, but still be like a superstar like Kawhi, like that level. I think that he can get there and do that. Hopefully he'll balance it all. He's really ahead of his time in all kinds of things. That's just, we got to hope that his maturity and his level-headedness and smarts about being a pro are as advanced as his skills on the court. Because, Scottie's got to have to start no matter what. I think it's just done. He's a starter in this league. He may not have started in college, but he's definitely going to start pretty much all of his NBA games, I think, unless he's hurt and he's coming back and, you know, those kind of things. I love these new officiating rules. You know, I do too. I love them because, you know, no more of this Trae Young, James Harden, kick your leg out bullshit. And, like, you know what it is, the new rules make it more like the NBA used to be. The NBA used to have all this kind of contact. This is the way they used to play in the 80s and the 90s. And it got taken out of the game over the last 20 years or so. So it really is an old school type of NBA with the physicality that just gets played. And you really have to foul somebody to get a foul. Because, like, if you listen to Charles Barkley talk about how it used to be, oh, yeah, they'd be used to hitting each other and really, like, fouls all over the place, but not getting called. Okay, well, let's talk about, all right, our segment of refs influencing the game. Episode 3, refs influencing the game. All right, what was that call when OG got that steal and Scotty was ahead of him at the half court and they fouled him? That should have been a clear path foul. Like, you saw that. Everybody knew that was a clear path foul. But still, Mark Davis, who's a notorious idiot referee towards the Raptors, like, he's been really bad towards the Raptors in the past, Mark Davis. So he's not a friend to us as a referee. He goes and takes the time to review the call on whether it was a clear path foul or not. And this is a big deal because you get the free throws and you get the ball on the outside. You look at it, and it's obviously a clear path foul. I mean, they're both ahead of the defender, but they're like, no clear path foul. And then his reasoning is he hadn't released the ball. Like, what the fuck does that mean? Like, this is what I'm saying. They'll make up any kind of excuse, and they can. It's subjective. They can make the call however they want to make it and just make up an excuse, a reason, because that was obviously clear path foul. We should have gotten free throws and the ball on the side. But it wasn't, because the ball wasn't released, because Mark Davis said so. So there's our little ref manipulation lesson for the day. It was right there. So, Paul, I don't know what you said. I hope it was cussing, because I like cussing. Go ahead and cuss in here, guys. Cussing's good. This isn't for kids. I marked that little box, not for kids. All right, let's see. MK, Pacers are having horrible luck with injuries. Yeah, you got to feel bad for them. I mean, Brissett was on the ground at one point. Brogdon had to leave. That one guy, I forget what his name is, Isaiah, he was limping and having trouble getting to off the court. Yeah, and then they have like two or three of their best players already out, Warren and LeVert. Well, that's how it goes. And one of the things, I'm going to knock on wood right now, is that the Raptors have a really good strength and conditioning and nutrition and all this kind of stuff. We prevent a lot of injuries on our team just because of the way we train and take care of our players. And it may be that this is a area in the Pacers organization that doesn't stack up to us as far as that, is that, they're not taking care of their players as well to not get injuries. So it's that kind of stuff. All right, I hope people now realize to trust Masai and Webster. Oh, yeah. We do, the faithful, the passionate, the positive Raptor fans like us, we trusted Masai. And thank God Larry had his back. Oh, my gosh, this summer. Because like I said on Monday, if that Edward Rogers, the third guy, was successful with his plan to oust Masai Ujiri as Toronto Raptors president, that would have pissed me off. And, man, that would have pissed a lot of people off. So we really need to be thankful. Like I was saying yesterday, thankful that we have Nick Nurse as a coach, that we don't want to get him fired. Thankful that we have Masai and he's hanging around and he hasn't just seen like, oh, this is my ceiling with the team and I can go somewhere else and be successful and do something else. No, he sees that he wants more here. He wants more championships. He wants more opportunities to grow. And he sees that his power in being president of the Toronto Raptors is global. And he can do all kinds of stuff to help all kinds of people all over the place because of that. So, yeah, man, seriously, trust in Masai and Bobby and Larry Tannenbaum. So, all right, MK47, Scotty is aggressive. I can't see us losing. Yeah, see, this is the thing. He's like a dormant volcano. As soon as he realizes he can erupt, he will take over the game and his lava will flow in every corner of the game where it just covers and the other team is magmatized, just like Pompeii, because they're stuck, because he's just like goes around them, dunks on them, or they can't do nothing because he's on them on defense. And like I said, we're seeing something from him on defense where he's full court pressing against point guards once, and then he's coming down the court and he's playing post defense against Nikola Vucevic. Like, this is insane. This dude is a rookie. He's got 5 games under his belt. And if you look at his repertoire and what he's already showing, it's like we don't have to develop him in certain things because he's already just doing it. It's really just fine-tuning it and then just like being like Star Trek, like to go where no one has gone before and like just discovering how good he can be. Like, we don't know. Like, it's going to be, oh my gosh, I think you're right, man. When Scotty realizes how much he can do on the game, he's going to win games for us, just himself as a superstar. Like, when he becomes like a Tatum kind of guy that's like, I need to score and win this game, he could be that dude for us in some ways. But the thing is, he doesn't have to have all that pressure. He's got OG, he's got Pascal, he's got Fred, and then the other guys too. I love this balanced scoring. I want that every time. If we all just get 18 points, I'm great with it. Nobody has to get 20 points. Just get 8 guys with 18 points, something like that. Really good. All right, let's see. Why do people pick apart people's interviews or what they do? Maybe he didn't want to get too close due to COVID protocols or something. We don't know the entire exactly. We don't know the entire story. It may be that Fred wasn't feeling well that day, and because we are in COVID times, he didn't want to be near some little kids. Like there's always 2 sides to the story, and then a third one that's the truth. And I hate that this AAU coach is going around spreading this shit about Fred, because it's just not necessary, dude. Just cap on it and just say, because you don't need to go around spreading this shit, even if Fred did something like that. And like I said before, it's not up. You're not privileged enough to just say, come and sign this stuff for me. No, this is a human being. He has rights to refuse. This is just because you see them on TV and you have these ideas and this and all that. And don't even think it's a thing about their character, because sometimes these guys, they have real reasons for why this is. And I'm going to tell you what, there's been more opportunities where he has fulfilled them than probably denied them in this world. And it's just stupid. Honestly, in some ways, I think that this kind of dumb stuff is manufactured by fans of other fan bases to try and cause problems for us. Like somebody has said before to me that one of the guys that does content on YouTube, Will Upton, is actually a Rockets fan. There's other people, fans of other teams, that see the popularity of the Raptors and how much, people like to watch content on them. And they'll just start doing Raptors content just to try and get the looks and the clicks. And they're actually fans, like Boston fans, subversively. And they're doing shit like writing crazy shit or saying crazy shit just to troll us, just to get us all upset and stupid stuff. So that's what I'm saying. This year, like me, I'm going on an all positive, like tunnel vision. I'm not going, if somebody starts these tabloid kind of bullshit, like I was saying yesterday from the guy about Fred, I'm unfollowing, going away, not listening to any of this shit, because there's so much good Raptor content out there that's fair and subjective and insightful that doesn't have to tear down things or be tabloid or talk about like, oh, is this happening with this? Like, I will talk about relationships with the players, but I'm going to talk about it in the slant that's positive for the team, not in a way that would rip things down. Like I would say, well, it looks like kind of like Fred was in his ego and there may be a little bit of issues with this, but I really hope they can figure it out. I'm never going to be like, Fred VanVleet hates Scotty Barnes and is jealous of him and blah, blah, all this stuff. That kind of shit is so stupid. And I hate it. You don't know what's going on in there. You can't look at them and figure it all out like that. You're crazy. So anyway, yeah, this is what I say. Just stop following them or just don't pay attention to that kind of stuff, because it is unnecessary and it's stupid. And like I said, it may be coming from a source that we don't even actually realize is coming from. I mean, if there's Russian troll bots sending all kinds of political misinformation to different people and QAnon bullshit, there's going to be stuff like this even with sports, where there's like bots or just trolls out there that are trying to get under our skin, or they see something good coming, but they want to try and mess us up still. They'll do that. So the Hive, I like that, Graham. Good morning and welcome, Graham. I like that nickname, the Hive. We got the Hive with the bees, because we don't only have those Canadian bees. We got Barnes and we've got what's another bee? There's another bee on the team that's not Canadian. It's like Barnes, Banton, Boucher, Birch, and there was one lineup that he put out there last night that I loved. I thought was nasty, and that was the 4 Bs with Fred. Yeah, Banton, Barnes, Boucher, and Birch with Fred in the middle of the game last night. That team was nasty, guys. Did you see what they were doing? Like, that was when Fred really kind of got his shot going, and Birch was playing really good, like on the boards, and Banton and Barnes were kind of like the point guards, and Fred was playing off the ball. So it was a really nice combination. And that's the thing. Nick Nurse is going to keep trying to put in these guys together. When they get Yuta and Pascal back, we'll try them with different combinations. But that one, I really like that. Fred with 4 Bs, Barnes, Banton, Birch, and Boucher. That's a nasty team right there. That's a really good team. And that doesn't even have OG, Pascal, or Precious in it. Oh, my gosh. All right, Rookie of the Year, Scotty, sure. Ty T, good morning. Welcome, man. Welcome to the stream. We have too much depth. I know. What a great problem. Oh my gosh, what a great problem. We get injuries or something like that. Next man up is no problem for us. Svi likely goes to the bench when Siakam is back. Yeah, Yuta. When does Yuta get the rotation back? I think the Yuta. I don't know, man. I mean, these are good problems to have. They really are. And I think that really gets cutthroat is what it is. It's like you really need to be performing at a high level or you're not going to get to play. Like you're obviously the defense is a given. You got to have that for the just the basic prerequisite. But then it maybe you need to be clicking on offense too and doing the good things on that end of the court to stay on the court also, because we have so many good two-way players now that if you're not doing it on both ends of the court, then maybe that's when you get pulled out, like in some nights, different guys will get more run than others. But like I said, last night's rotations were perfect. They were beautiful to me. There was no lull and there was no Goran. So it was like a really good rotations last night. So this is really great problem, Ty T. I really love this problem. And, Banton, Banton will get to play with us. I think he'll go to 905 at some point just to get that level and that feeling. Every second round draft pick should go to 905. That's just a prerequisite. And even I think Scotty should maybe go to 905, just maybe even for just 2 games or something like that, just to get that feeling. If he's having any problems on our main roster this year at any point, send him to 905 for a confidence booster. But yeah, I don't know. See, this is the thing. All these guys are making a really hard case for rotational type minutes. And when Yuta and Pascal get back, it's going to be like, all right, let's see the battle, see who's going to come out on top with this. And there's really no room for error. Like guys can't play like Dragic and expect to keep playing, just because, we need you for this or this, because somebody else will be able to do it and get in there and be more productive if you're not. I think it's amazing. Yeah, Delano, 2 of 3 from 3. He works well. Yeah, you know what? Earl Watson's been a huge, great coach for us with Delano. Like you can really tell that he's the one who's like teaching them that point guard stuff on the fly, like that high tempo point guard decision making kind of like push it kind of thing. And this is the thing, man. He only had like maybe 1 or 2 plays last night where he looked bad with like the pass or a turnover. Everything else looked really solid. Either he was making a shot or he was getting the ball to somebody else and it was looking good. Like in the stuff where he was laying it in at the basket, man, that's what I'm saying. All these guys look unstoppable. Like they couldn't stop Delano last night either at times. And it's like, what are we going to do? We need like 3 basketballs, referee, because we got like 5 unstoppable players. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. This era of Raptors is going to be troubling and frustrating and scary at times. But I think that we've seen like now with this game last night in Boston, if we're playing more efficiently, like we won the points in the paint last night, major, and we made more threes than them. And that's right. They're going to call the sirens because they're going to need help. And then, fast break points were really good last night. So we had like the good team stats that show a victory for sure. And we didn't even shoot as well as them last night. And, they had a couple things going good for them. Like we had really good turnovers on them. And we finally got points off the turnovers last night, which was not happening in some of these other games where we get the turnovers, but then we'd get no rewards for it. We just lose the ball or somebody would miss the shot or something like that. Okay, Ty T, we've seen the potential. We're rebounding beautifully. Yeah, we are rebounding beautifully. And I love this tip stuff. Like Kem Birch loves to tip the ball out to the top of the key to Fred. Like if he can't get a full grasp on the ball, he does really good job at tipping the ball out to keep the possession alive for us and stuff. Oh my gosh. I mean, I could just go on and on about how good they are. Sue, good morning. What a solid game. We held the big guys to limited points. Yes, we did. We really did. Like that's really their strength. Indiana is those big guys down there. And we negated them. We didn't let them kill us at all. And oh my gosh, like if we can hold our defense like we did last night, we did the whole game. We did the defense the whole game for the most part. There were a couple of little breakdowns here and there, but it was pretty sound, like every other play at least. Like we were getting good established defense. And I love that our offense really did push it on them and get them off kilter. Didn't just wait for them to get set up. And we really took advantage of trying to score on them quickly, getting into the offense at times. And really, like I think OG leveled up last night, guys. Like in that first quarter, he leveled up to a point where it's like, maybe I am an unstoppable player in this league and I'm just not really pushing it right in the right way. But maybe he's seeing the doors a little bit open and he's going to go in that direction now, as far as like the stuff we were seeing with him with the driving to the basket, like, and dunking and just like, he's really good around the basket with like physicality and still scoring. And the three's going down too. So OG, yeah, they all deserve more calls, but if this is how it's going to be, then this may actually benefit us because we can get a lot more physical with them and mess the other team up. And we're strong enough to pull through their physicality and make the points. Like, that's amazing. Sue, OG kept us in the game in the first quarter. Yeah, he was definitely the table setter. He was the one who allowed us to get into the game. Like Gary Trent was the one in the game before against Chicago. And this time it was OG. OG really like got us going. And then in the second quarter, it was like the Scotty show where we were seeing a little bit of like Scotty doing a little bit of everything with his offense. And it was really fun to watch. Like Scotty's doing things that like 10-year vets do, not like guys 5 games into their NBA career. He's doing stuff that it takes guys 10 years to learn in the league. I'm like, it's insane. It's insane. He's not a normal rookie. And we shouldn't look at him as being limited because he's a rookie, because he's making good veteran decisions and playing like a vet. So, and then, of course, we got Delano with his coming in and really being really good part of the rotation. Like I see him at the level of Boucher and Birch with minutes and rotation now. Like he should be one of our main guys off the bench. Scotty's no looks are great. Yeah, they're great when they work, and they work more often than they don't. Like I say 3 out of 4 times they're working. But yeah, just a fun effort all the way through. I'm glad that they didn't get in trouble and let them back in the game, that they stayed on top of them for the whole game so that we didn't have to make something up later. And I just love that, there was balance. The balance is really, really a strength because these other teams rely too much on guys like Kevin Durant or, Bradley Beal. And we're not going to have to rely on any one person. If somebody's having a bad game, there's going to be somebody who can pick up the slack. Like I could really see us going with OG, trying to score with OG. If OG's not working, then you go with Pascal, try with Pascal, and Pascal's not working, then you go with Scotty. You try with Scotty. Then you try with Precious. It's just going to keep happening. Sue, Gary was really impressive on defense too. Way better than I thought he would be. Really happy with his progress. Yeah, his hands are just, and you even saw that one play where he was behind the guy and he's still slapping at the ball and stuff. Like he's one of the leaders in the league right now for steals, and he's not a liability on defense, that's for sure. And I hate to do it, but this is something we should kind of do and check in every once in a while. But we need to look at him in comparison to what Norman used to do for us, because that was the deal. And everybody's kind of saying, well, if he's the same as Norman, but he's younger and he's not as good, why did we trade him? Well, it's really because growth and development can sometimes pay dividends in a more exponential way than just being like, oh, he's going to be that good. Because Gary could be better than Norman in like 2 or 3 years. I mean, there's a couple things about Gary's game that is better than Norman. Gary's a better shooter than Norman. Norman wasn't a good shooter. He developed his jump shot over his years in Toronto and got to be that kind of player. And his defense has been kind of always there, Norman, but that's something that he really worked hard on with Fred and Kyle, and they really were like a badass trapping defense at the top of the key against other teams. And Gary now is just kind of like finding his individuality as a defensive player, like in the beginning of the season, because I don't think Portland really pushed him to be a defensive player or really knew how to coach him to do this. And obviously we just opened a door for him with his defensive game that is nasty. And his value just went up because of this. Like we got him on this contract from this summer, but now if he's a two-way player all of a sudden, instead of just being viewed as a backup shooter off the bench, now he's a two-way player and a starter. his value has gone up, and we're getting good value for his contract. And it may be a real tough decision when all these guys get around, when we need to figure out who we're going to give money to. But these are good decisions to have, good problems to have. Like Ty T is saying, too much depth, too many good players. Hey, I'll take those problems every day of the week. Oh, yeah. Keep sending us good players. I mean, we will figure out who's going to stick around and who's going to go and what we can get for them and stuff like that. So, all right, let's see. Scotty, no looks are great. Gary was really impressive defense. Delano's a great defender. Yeah, our whole team's a great defensive team. It's just built that way. It's built physically to be a good defensive team. And it's nasty. The philosophy and theory in basketball that this team is built around, and what Nick Nurse is trying to do is sound, and it's going to work. And that's the thing. That's why I was like saying we could win a championship this year. And even though I said a couple days ago, I don't think we could win a championship. Well, then when I see a game last night, yeah, we could win a championship this year, because when you play that kind of defense and you're winning the rebounding battle, anything's possible in basketball to win. Like, you can win at the highest levels and you wouldn't even expect it. And especially when you've got these rookies that are grown into already as good role players, where Scotty could grow into a go-to guy superstar, and Delano's already a good role player. And, we don't even have our best scorer back yet. There's all kinds of things that are just going to get nastier and better. Like, if we saw the worst of the Raptors in the first 5 games of the year, think about it. We've won 2 out of the 3 games. So 2 out of the 5 games, we can make that easily 4 out of the 5 games in the next 5 games we play. So we're going to win a lot of games soon, because we know how to do it. And if we do the right things, we do the little things. Other teams aren't doing the little things. We're doing the little things to ensure it. That's what it is. Andrew, good morning. Scotty is already a top 3 or 4 player on the Raptors, maybe top 2, maybe in top 1. Yeah. I mean, I don't like to rank our own guys, because honestly, it's really hard to tell. It's always been this way, especially with Kyle was around. Like, it was ambiguous. Who was actually the top player on the Raptors? Was it Kyle? Was it Pascal? Was it Fred? Was it OG? I like that ambiguity, and I don't like to necessarily delineate, oh, you're number 1, you're number 2, number 3. But if you really want my opinion, I think right now it's Pascal, OG, and then Scotty. I think that's the order right now of who the best player on the team is. It's Pascal, OG, and then Scotty. But Scotty could easily overtake those guys and be number 1 at some point. But it's just on a crude career already, and like how much they can actually, because you see OG, the way OG takes over the game is different than the way Scotty just fills in the cracks of where he finds his spots. But OG's forcing his will to get his points, and Scotty will be able to do that eventually. And he does do that on a little bit, but he's really kind of picking his spots and waiting for them to come to him, whereas OG is forcing his spots. So. Let's see. Ty T, one of the biggest surprises is that our perceived defensive liabilities in Svi and Trent have been solid, excellent. They've been straight thieves. Yeah, Svi, I like these little like pass when they're inbounding the ball and he gets that steal. He did that twice last night. Like, this dude is a really good rotational player for us. Like, he's solid in some ways. Like, some people are like, oh, who is this guy? Why is he playing? But this is the thing. In the preseason, they had that competition for 3-point shooting, and Svi hit like 96 of 100 threes, guys. So he's a Decker type 3-point shooter. If he's open, he's going to make the shot. And we got to see him get a rhythm 3 last night. He got the pass right, and he hit that 3 at the top of the key. Yeah. That's more likely what we'll see. It's just he's been getting bad bounce passes when he gets the ball, and he's had to take this second to adjust his hands on the ball to get the shot the way he wants to. And that stopped him from getting good open looks, because the defender would already get back to him in the time that he had to get the ball right in his hands. So as soon as we get the ball passed to him in the way where he can just catch and shoot, and he doesn't have to adjust the ball in his hands, he's going to be deadly over and over again. He's just going to hit threes all over the place. So, yes, both pickpocket well. Yeah, they really do. Like, they all do. I mean, Fred does it too. OG got a bunch of steals last night also. This is the nasty thing. All these guys can block shots. All these guys can steal. All these guys can rebound. They all can do it. And that's the thing. It's like, oh, man. Woo-wee. OG is noticeably improved. Scotty is so good as a passer and pick and roll. Yeah. I mean, we were talking about the pick and roll problems from the Chicago game, and hopefully that we'd see a little bit better with it. And we did. We saw it a little bit better. There was a couple times it got ran and it still didn't work, but it's getting better. Precious looked way better with the other guys around the basket. Of course, Precious wasn't as paramount in this game, but he was still doing a lot of good things on the down low. He didn't play as many minutes also as he had in the last couple games too. Fred had the most blocks. No, he had the most rebounds, 10 rebounds. And this is the thing. I was watching the game last night. I'm like, man, Fred is really rebounding crazy, like getting in there and getting the rebound with like 4 Pacers around him. And just like, I was like, man, he's rebounding well. And then later in the game, Matt tried to play a trivia question on Jack. He's like, who has the most rebounds? And Jack was like, right away, Fred VanVleet. And I was like, Fred VanVleet. Everybody knew he had the most rebounds because we could see him working and getting those rebounds in the game. It was awesome. Like, man, Freddie is really dedicating himself to finding new ways that he can help this team win. And that's why we're seeing these career games by him, whether it's the 17 assists the other night or these 10 rebounds tonight. Like, Fred got a double-double last night, but it wasn't an assist. That's insane. Oh, my gosh. That's so crazy. Yeah. Andrew, I love our team too, man. I love our team. I loved our team for many years, but I'm like getting to a new level of love for them, like this year, even more so. I think MK, our offensive rebound has been great. Sue, he's the smallest guy out there, and he's battling for those rebounds and doing that. And I love his that classic Fred VanVleet layup where he just has to fall to make the shot. You're like, oh, is he going to make it? And then when he hits the ground, you're like, yeah, he's probably going to make it when he has to hit the ground like that. Like, he's working so hard, and they are beating the hell out of him. Like, if this is the old NBA, I'm glad we have tough tested players that have been in battles and seen the physicality of high-level playoff basketball, because there's going to be teams in this league that aren't used to this kind of physicality. They're going to get kind of messed up because of this. Because the players aren't used to physicality, or they're going to be young, or they're not going to it'll be really interesting to see us against Orlando with this physicality on Friday. Is their team going to shrink away from it? Because I think Indiana in a way shrunk away from it a little bit. And even Boston last Friday was shrinking away from the physicality a bit when we played them. And that's the thing. We're going to go all out with that. That's not going to be a problem for us. But other teams may have problems finding toughness in their team this year. So this could be a strength that we're not talking about enough on the down low. With the new rules, the new physicality, and our roster compared to other people's rosters, it game over. All right, guys. Well, we're about 8 minutes to an hour. Oh, man, let's just bask in it. We're going to sit with the bad losses and feel that losing. Let's get that winning feeling too, but not get too ahead of ourselves. I know the guys feel good about last night, but, they're not too high, not too low. Go to the next one and get the next win. Go Raptors. Yes, Andrew. And Orlando. This will be fun. Hopefully we can see a really entertaining game on Friday night where – there's a lot of stuff like last night, and just fun. It's just fun to watch right now, isn't it? Because we don't know what Delano or Scotty's going to do next. And it's so fun to watch OG and Fred find their game and get steady again. Ty T, Fred was talking about seeing growth in this team, but he himself is taking big steps right now. You can see him hitting big shots when we go on a drought, upping effort on boards, setting example. Yeah, Fred is growing for sure. He's growing in a different way. It may be even in a way that he needs to grow his game back a little bit, just to allow these guys that we're talking about, the three amigos, to take over the offensive load. He just can pick his spots. If he's open for three, take the three, but he doesn't need to force himself down low. He needs to pass it around and do stuff. But if he's open, he needs to make his 3-point shot. But maybe it's facilitating OG, Pascal, and Scotty, and those guys getting more of the scoring. Because if Fred averages 15 points and 10 assists a game, I'll be very happy. I don't need him to be a 20-point scorer, because we may be more efficient on offense letting these premium players be our weapons more so than him. It's not that he's not a good offensive player. He's a fantastic offensive player. And we know that he can take over a game and score 50 points in a game if he has to. But it may be easier route for us to feed those other guys who have really good mismatches and really good like physical traits that can be like utilized to as an advantage. So that's what I'm looking at. The growth may be in him understanding his role in this team is different in a way this year. And that's a great perspective, Ty, to bring up and say that, yeah, Fred is definitely growing as a person. And Scotty will probably definitely outshine Suggs. This is going to be a lot of fun to see Suggs and Scotty against each other and all these fans from this last off season and like all the dumb stuff they were saying and stuff. Like, seriously, how could anybody like not realize that Scotty is so good at this point and still be saying we should have took Suggs? There's no way in the world that there's anybody saying that we should have taken Suggs at this point. If there is anybody that's still saying that, y'all need to just go be a fan of Orlando then, because you don't need to be a Toronto Raptors fan if you thought that we made a mistake taking Scotty Barnes over Jalen Suggs, because you're wrong. You are very, very wrong. Oh, yeah, you are. All right, let's see. Yeah, he's growing into Kyle's role. He's realizing the unspoken things about Kyle's role, whether it's getting respect around the league from referees, from other coaches, just from other teams in general, and just being like that guy who's kind of sets the tone of saying, we're road warriors. We're going this place. We're not going to lose. You know, I'm going to do what it takes to show you guys what it takes to win. We're going to make big shots when I need, you know, I'll make big shots when we need them. I'm going to get you guys going, you know, that kind of leadership. Because Fred may have been a vocal guy with like keeping guys in check, like you didn't get your defensive assignment or you didn't do this. But it's really kind of like an attitude leader at this point that he really needs to grow into, because that was what Kyle was. He was our attitude leader for the whole team. And we had lacked that to a degree, and it may be not totally in Fred's personality to be that kind of leader completely, but he's going to find it, and I think he'll make it a part of his leadership that he's not used to or natural for him, but he's going to be successful and figure it out, do what the team needs in the moment. Yeah. Gee, he ran a lot of plays through Scotty in the second half and made big shots. He's finding balance. This is what we've been hinting at in a few of the streams this week, was what happens when Scotty becomes a point guard and Freddie is our shooting guard and he's playing off the ball, and guys like Scotty and Delano are bringing the ball up the court and they're finding Fred to get his open shot. That's a beautiful thing. And that's the way it should be, because these guys have court vision. And Fred kind of joked about this in the press conference last night, that everybody's trying to say that he's not a point guard. He is a point guard. He's classically a point guard. He always played as a point guard at every level. And he is an assist, pass first kind of point guard. It's just that he's played more shooting guard kind of stuff with Kyle over the last couple of years. And they've forgotten that he still is that facilitator. He's still that guy, because he was one of the guys that was making the bounce passes and the passes to the shooter that were in rhythm that allowed them to get in their shot right away and make the shot. Like, there was a lot of that last night. If you know what I'm talking about, that good feeling when the pass is just right on the spot, right in the right place, and the guy just puts it in effortlessly, like it's not a problem or issue. Fred can do that really good, and Scotty's going to get better at that. He's got good instincts for it already. But that's really what's been the problem with our passing this year so far, as we're not getting the rhythm to the shooter in the pass. But we did see that a lot last night. I love that. And it really, the offense should be going through Delano and Scotty to a degree, partly because they're such unknowns that other teams don't have scouting reports on them, and they can operate and do a lot of things that will really surprise other teams, because they're like, whoa, where did these guys come from? They're like, whoa. You know, they don't, and we don't know either. That's the hilarious thing. It's like, wait a second. What did Scotty just do? Did he do that? Excuse me. It's kind of like that right now. It's like, we don't know. They don't know. Maybe even Scotty doesn't know. Like, oh crap, I can do that. And it's like, it's fun. It's just fun. It's kind of like when you're good at something and you're just trying it out, you're starting it out, but you know you're good at it and you know you're going to succeed at it, and it's going to be really fun, the process of getting good at it. I see that with this team right now, that it's just going to be fun to see them get better and better and get good at what they're trying to do offensively, and their defense is just there. I mean, that's the thing. Their defense could get better even this year too, and it's already so nasty. Like, nobody can do anything against us. Every single team we've played so far this year has been stymied and stopped and has not been able to operate the way they'd like to. We have other opposing players cussing under their breath every game, and I love that. I love that so much. All right, so tomorrow I'll have a preview for Orlando. Soak it in, Raptor fans. We should be happy and proud. This is a sign of the future to come, not the stuff that we saw against Washington the week before. This is just all working out the kinks and getting on the right page and figuring it out. And we're going to get there quicker and faster than people think, and we're going to make noise. Midway through this season, I think we're going to make some major noise. If we can play like we did last night consistently, just like last night, we're going to win a lot of games. So, all right, let's get ready for Orlando. Keep everybody healthy and happy. None of this BS about people feuding or not signing autographs or taking pictures. Thank you. Likes, comments, subscribe, do whatever, post it on Facebook. I don't care. Whatever you guys want to do. I'm just here for the fans, for the passion, the love of this franchise. And just, I hate the cynical, negative Raptor fans. The ones that are always just like, that's not here. No. We're positive all the way. And we're going to root this team towards a championship. That's what we're all about. And I love that y'all are with me. You guys are the best. I'm really digging my OGs. Like everybody who's here talking to me every morning, you're always going to be my OGs. No matter what, I'm always going to remember y'all because you guys made this so fun. And I'm just enjoying this. And I know without you guys, this is nothing. So I really appreciate y'all. Y'all have the best Thursday y'all can have. And Orlando, let's see some Suggs versus Barnes. This is going to be fun, guys, because I know we're going to win.